I come from a small town in South India, where narrow lanes, bicycles, and shared spaces were a part of daily life. We lived in a single room. That's where everything happened. Meals, sleep, laughter, and sometimes silence. It wasn't easy, but it was real. My father would cycle 15 kilometers every day to provide for us. He gave most of his earnings away to support my brother's treatment, to help others, never once expecting anything back. That's where I first learned what it means to live with intent. And my mother, she didn't need wings. She was the storm's stillness, quiet, relentless, enduring. When a rule said I couldn't attend school because I was the third child, she said no. Every single day, for a year, she stood outside the headmaster's office, waiting, not protesting. She didn't fight the system. She outlasted it. And when we couldn't afford the 30 rupee tuition, she took off her silver toe ring, her wedding symbol, and pawned it for my future. That's how I first came to know how life works. Not from books, from her will, from his hands. That was my first exposure to logistics, the science and systems of movement. Years later, I landed in the US with a backpack and about $50 in my pocket. I didn't have a plan B, just a quiet promise to myself that I'd figure it out. Georgia Tech was where I hoped to study. I still remember waiting outside a professor's office, pretending I had an appointment, because I couldn't afford tuition, and I needed someone to believe in me. He did, and that changed everything. For a while, life was just motion. I worked 5 jobs, cleaned, delivered, coded, sometimes all in the same day. I shared what I earned with my family back home. I slept in my car for a couple of weeks once. Not because I gave up, but because I couldn't afford rent yet. Still, I never saw that as failure. I saw it as part of the climb. My break came at Coca-Cola. I pitched myself with a multimedia resume, and they let me in. From there, I led delivery transformation efforts. Later at PepsiCo, I helped reimagine the distribution infrastructure. It wasn't just about logistics. It was about building systems that could flex, grow, and last. At Walmart, I pushed for a concept that felt too early at the time: crowdsourced delivery. People thought it was crazy, until it wasn't. Somewhere along the way, I started collecting titles, awards, and recognition. But I realized I was chasing validation more than vision. Then in 2020, I held my newborn son for the first time, and he looked exactly like my father. Same calm, same soul. In that moment, I made a new promise: not to leave behind one angel, but a million. People who rise when systems fail. People who improvise, adapt, and care. That promise became Orchestro.ai, an attempt to redesign the world's supply chain using systems that don't just think, but feel. This was birth of Angelic Intelligence. It's not just an AI stack, it's a consciousness stack. A moral operating system, AI built on my mother's code, powered by my father's hands. For me, it's not about the money or the speed. It's about intent. I started with a single room and a family that showed me how to care. I arrived with nothing but a reason. And that reason, paired with hard work and belief, carried me here. I'm not done, because I made a promise, and I intend to keep it.